What's up? What is up, my friends? My friends, what is up? What is... Seriously, what's up? Seriously, where's everybody? Wait, where? Hello? Hello? I'm going to start singing a kid's song, but I won't. But maybe I should, because I truly don't think anyone's there. Is anyone there? Hello? Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me? Hello? Are you there? Can you hear me? No, seriously. Okay, I'll shut up. I'll shut up, or those of you who are here might leave. Wait, can you hear me? Are you there? Can you hear me now? Yeah, just joshing ya. Give me a heck yeah if you're here. Even if you're here, but later when you watch this for the first time. Hello, Lauren. Hello, Terry. So if you're here now, or if you're here then later when you listen to this, give me a heck yeah, I'm here. And tell me why you're happy. Yeah, Terry, that's what I'm talking about. Tell me why you're happy that you're here. Steve, if you're just joining, yeah, Lauren, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Tell me why you're happy that you're here. Is it because it's Friday at 3:42 and you're either already, son of a nutcracker? Oh, aha. I'm gonna multitask here. I meant to push my Twitter followers over to this link, but I forgot, but I can do it by way of my computer. So that's what I'm going to do now. Why are you excited to be here? Lauren, Steve, Terry, anyone else that might be here? That's what I'm talking about, Lauren. That's what I'm talking about. I missed you guys this week, Lauren. So Lauren goes to Penn State Harrisburg, and I did a many sessions over there the past several weeks or month or so. And this Tuesday, Wednesday was the first Tuesday, Wednesday in a while that I wasn't over there. And I didn't like it, Lauren. I didn't like it. I wanted to be there. So we'll make it happen again one way or another. Okay. Okay, bored. I'm writing a thing on Twitter to try to get people to come to this live stream. Bored, wanna close Friday out with a bang. Hop on over to facebook.com/Charlie Spaniard for this week's What I Learned episode. Live. Got it? Okay. I'll make you, you will, how about that? How about this? Sorry, this is boring. I'll get to it soon. You will laugh, be enlightened, think, you will laugh. What other adjectives should I use to get more people from Twitter over here? Want to close right over there? I'll teach. Oh, here. I'll teach, inspire, enlighten, challenge, and energize you. How about that? How's that sound? Pretty good, right? All for live now. Get there. Not live now, live now. Okay, bored. I'm glad brother man. Hop on over to Facebook for this week. What I learned, I'm so loud. I'll teach you. All right. Natalie, welcome. So this is this week's What I Learned episode. It's been a great week. It's been a nice week. Very productive day. Spent from like 9:30 until 3 doing some work at Barnes & Noble. Gosh, I love Barnes & Noble. I love just going there and just being around it, right? Just being around the wisdom. I like actually get sad that there's not enough time to read all the books in the world. You know, I get sad for that. But you know what? That's kind of that's the truth, my friends. It's just not enough time. Like, I don't know who said it. There's just not enough time. So all we can do is just do our best to learn and read as much as we can. All right. Okay. So, since I think there's like only a handful of you here, would every one of you consider sharing this video? Be bold. Give it a share. And if you won't share this video, just tell me why. Don't feel comfortable. Don't want to annoy my friends. Shared your last one. I think the show stinks. Any of those reasons are fine. Not going to hurt my feelings. I've heard worse. Real world validation tells us what's up. All right. I'm going to get cranking. This is a special viewing for you. Terry, you're the man, Terry. Thank you very much. This is a special viewing for you all who are here. And maybe your friends and followers. Mwah, ha, ha, ha. Okay. You ready to rock and roll? I'm ready to rock and roll. Be sure to subscribe. Lauren, Terry, Natalie, are you all subscribed on iTunes and or Stitcher? Okay. Let's get cranking here. Lauren, I just uploaded my keynote from the 4th at the Dream Symposium. I just uploaded it to my podcast feed. So if you want to listen to it again, you heard it once because you were there. But if you want to listen to it again, you can go to my podcast feed and listen to it, or my website. It's on there as well. All right, so let's get cranking here. Let's just roll. I don't know what I'm going to say, so let's just hit play. Hello, my friends, and welcome to another episode. Bienvenidos a otro episodio, another episode of what I learned this week. Lo que he aprendido esta semana. Lo que he aprendido esta semana. What I learned this week. Now, it feels good to be recording this episode. One, because I love recording this episode, because this model is something that I look to develop into the future. And also because it's Friday. It's Friday afternoon when I'm recording this. So I got into a routine for the first many what I learned this week episodes. I got into a routine of recording them on Friday afternoons. For a long time, I was doing it as part of my AMXtended program. I would do a live recording and then facilitate a discussion afterwards based on that content. So it was basically noon every Friday I would do it. And then I stopped doing that, and then I had a couple busy Fridays. So what happened is it ended up getting pushed to not Friday, then not Saturday, and then it was like Saturday afternoon, and I'd be like, I'm so tired. I'm not in work mode. I just want to be with my family. I don't want to do this. So then I think I even recorded like on Monday or Tuesday last week, and that's not something I want to do. This is what I learned this week. I don't want to record what I learned this week, next week, talking about this week, which is actually last week. Do you follow what I'm saying there? Do you understand what I'm saying there? So regardless, it's fun to be here again because I love this stuff and because of the content of which I'm about to talk. Quick reminder, hop on over to charliespaniard.com, opt into my email list. At this point, I only have a couple hundred people on that email list. So it's exclusive, right? It's exclusive. But why get on that email list? Because you will get this document of which I'm going to extemporaneously speak here in a couple minutes. You're going to get this emailed to you, and it is 7 bullet points, and I'm going to cover those 7 bullet points. Why would you want it? Why is that of value to you? Why should you go to my site, charliespaniard.com, and opt in? Because if you're an ambitious, driven, productive, high-performing, aspiring, inspired person, then you're going to enjoy this because it's going to give you fodder. I'm using the word fodder. It's going to give you talking points, discussion points, points of action, questions. Do you have a kid? Do you run a team? Do you have a classroom? You want to get them to think differently? That's what this document is for. And it's yours for free. Just hop on over to my website and get it. Or in the terminology of the book of which I'm about to speak, get some. Hop on over there and get some. The first bullet point I'm going to talk about comes from the last book I read, 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson. This was the most challenging read I've ever done because Jordan Peterson is one of the most intelligent, if not the most intelligent person that I've studied, that I've learned and listened to extensively. This guy is very smart. And his book, 12 Rules for Life, is a very thorough read with just, I mean, it is a study. It is, I'm uber glad that I read the book and not just read the book, studied the book. That's what it required of me, was to study it. And the 12th rule of that book was this. So if you're looking for a book that's going to stretch your mind, really stretch your mind, it's going to require work, because those are the best things, right? You don't want just something that is easy peasy. It doesn't mean anything. You got to like actually work for it. This book will make you work for it, but the reward on the other end is stuff that will stick with you, that is sticking with me forever. So the 12th rule of 12 Rules for Life is this: pet a cat when you see one on the street. What? Pet a cat when you see one on the street. So a fun way in which Jordan wrote this book was he would use these pithy, I think that's a word, pithy chapter titles, and then extrapolate what that actually means, right? So pet a cat when you see one on the street. What in the heck does that mean about anything? I'll tell you what I think, and I'll say this too. There's been 12 rules for life, as per the title of this book. It's quite possible my what I presume, what I surmise is the meaning of the title. It is quite possible that is not accurate. I'm doing my best. Like I said, this book challenged me to think in ways I've never thought before, so I'm doing my best. And what I took from this chapter, rule number 12, pet a cat when you see one in the street, is the idea that we should not overlook opportunities to feel good, essentially. That there are opportunities in front of us and we just walk right past them. They're right in front of you. The reason I think that is because he mentioned in the book how he pet a cat, it purred, made him feel good, he smiled. So I took that as to say, like, don't walk past these opportunities, keep your eyeballs open, like kind of take a step back, your routine that you go through every day and you don't think about anything, take a step back, take a step to the left, take a step to the right, hit pause for a second, look around you, scan the surface for opportunities, big or small, to make you feel good, to smile, to add to your life in one way. Oh, the next bullet point. Now, this gets into a book. There's two books that I've read twice in my life. Twice in my life. The first is Think and Grow Rich. And the second one, I'm almost done reading it for the second time, is Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink and Leif Babin. You hear me talk about Jocko pretty much every other day. He's one of my biggest sources of inspiration, but also like know-how. Like, this is how this guy built stuff. This is what he does. These are his practices. Success Leaves Clues, a la The Success Principles by Jack Canfield. So I'm taking my notes, looking at what Jocko and company do, and I'm doing my best to replicate them. That's what you do, people. You identify people of whom you aspire to be like, and then you do what they do. That's the simple process. It's right there. So this book, Extreme Ownership, this is a great quote, and it summarizes, it summates, which is not a word, it summarizes what extreme ownership is. The leader must own everything in his or her world. There is no one else to blame. Holy moly, what if you operated with that mindset? What if I operated with that mindset? What if we all operated with that mindset of, I am a leader, and as per the fact that I'm a leader, I must own everything in my world. There is no one else to blame. One of my favorite takeaways that I got from this book the first time, I got it from the book. I read so many other books that I didn't even remember what book I got it from, was Don't Blame, Complain, or Make Excuses. Don't blame, complain, or make excuses. Operate as a leader, operating with extreme ownership, and do not blame, complain, or make excuses. See if you can do that, my friends. Moving on, the next bullet point on the What I Learned This Week document, which can be yours by going to charliespaniard.com, submitting your email address, and I will send you this PDF document, of which I'm extemporaneously speaking every Friday afternoon. So Tuesday's Speak Spanish with Spaniard, I'm going to be honest, I'm at a crossroads. I'm trying. Some things are working. Some things aren't working. Some things are kind of working. Speak Spanish with Spaniard is kind of working. Not totally working, but kind of working. I'm working it out. I'm figuring what type of episodes that you, the listener, would want. But the problem is, there's not much feedback. So that's real world validation, my friends. That's telling me that it's pretty good, but it's not great. Because if it were great, they would be going to charliespaniard.com/Spanish to tell me it was great, not tell me it was great, to tell me this is what we want to learn on your show. So if you're interested in Speak Spanish with Spaniard, if it's something you passively listen to and you haven't, you like it, you enjoy it, but you haven't actually gone to charliespaniard.com/Spanish, I'm calling out for some help in this episode, and I would appreciate any and all feedback you can give me, whether you want to hear just Spanish interviews and conversations, whether you want to hear Spanish solo-sodes, whether you want to hear grammar, culture, whatever it is. Consider going to charliespaniard.com/Spanish and telling me what you want, if anything, from Speak Spanish with Spaniard. So the next bullet point, and this comes again from extreme ownership. I read books. I read books because I'm an inspired person who aspires to do great things in my life. I have a burning desire. I have a seed. I have a fire inside of me that rages and will not be quelled. Is that it? Will not be extinguished. And it keeps reigniting, and it just drives me pretty much every second of every day. I have a problem with relaxing. I have a problem with not obsessing. Like I'm probably a little bit unhealthy in that area. However, I love it. It's a comfortable uncomfortability, and I absolutely love it. And what you'll see, so if you're sitting there thinking to yourself, or not thinking to yourself, so if you're someone who aspires to do great things, right, and you want to build something, but you need support, and you can't get the support, and you're wondering, what can I do to get the support? I want to read a line from the book, and then I'm going to drive that home. A resolute belief in the mission is critical for any team or organization to win and achieve big results. A resolute belief in the mission is critical for any team or organization to win and achieve big results. A resolute belief in the mission. So I set out to reflect, because that's what I do. I read, reflect, implement, reflect some more, obsess some more, etc., etc. And I started thinking about what I'm building right now, this podcast, what you're listening to right now. We have my podcast, we have my speaking, I do workshops, I wrote a book, I do stuff, right? So this is like a business that I started. And I was thinking how grateful I am to have Dredd alongside me in this business. Someone whom I do not pay, who said to me at the beginning, I just want to help you, right? And then I started reflecting about, and he helps me in more ways than anyone could help in regard to this business. But put it this way, if you seek the most committed, loyal, hardworking, honest, truthful, pure partner in a business, Dredd is that person. Don't steal him from me. Please don't steal him from me, because he's extremely valuable. So then I started reflecting on my fighting career. And that person in my fighting career was my brother. And then later on, as my career evolved, it became Mike, my manager. And I started thinking, what is it? If I were to prescribe to someone, hey, this is how you accumulate a team of people who have a resolute belief in the mission, how do you go about doing it? What would I tell my son or my daughter or my team, or what would I tell them? And I would say this: if you want someone to believe in a resolute belief in your mission, there's only one thing you have to do, only one thing you have to give. Ready? Crank up the volume, roll up the windows, tell whomever's in the car or in the gym to shh a second. If you want someone to have that resolute belief in your mission, you have to give one simple thing, and that is this: 100% of yourself. Boom. If there were a mic, I would drop. There is a mic, and I'm not going to drop it because I did that one time on air and I actually did drop it and almost broke it. You have to give 100% of yourself. You want people to believe. You want to create energy. You want to create fire. You want to create impact around what you're building or what you're doing or around your purpose. You got to give 100% of yourself. You know why Dredd's so committed to me? Because he sees how committed I am. You know why my brother and Mike were so committed to me? Because they saw how committed I was. It's like this ripple effect, but it only starts with, boom, with you, my friends. Remember the second thing I said? The leader must own everything in his or her world. There is no one else to blame. It's on you. You want that fire, you got to create the smoke, my friends. How do you like that? That one just came to me. I like that one. If you want to create the fire, if you want the fire, you got to create the smoke. Or whatever. You heard what I said. Moving on. This is one of my, I'm in this odd, first of all, I hope you're enjoying this episode because I absolutely love recording these episodes. My buddy Dominic, you hear me talk about Dominic quite often. And we've been close since junior high school, and we share a lot of similarities, but we're also different in a lot of ways. But as we've grown older, we've started to get more and more similar in this idea of simplifying our lives. Simplifying our lives. Extricating our lives of menial choices as much as possible. This thing was brought into my life first when I read Steve Jobs' book, where he wears the same colored shirt or the same shirt every day. Same with Mark Zuckerberg. You hear that he wears this, they have various articles of those clothing, but it is the same style, color, etc. And then, so those two, and then I read Ted Turner's book, and he said he wore Velcro shoes, so he wouldn't have to spend time tying his shoes every day. Now, while as Onnit would say, total human optimization, while perfection is not attainable, it is unattainable because of the mere fact of human error. While it is not attainable, I still thrive on this idea of simplicity. So much so that Dominic and I had these conversations that would make any average people think that we are absolute weirdos. Our strategies for where we buy the shirts and what color, strategy for buying underwear and socks, strategy for all of these different systems in place that will help you eliminate menial choices. Have you ever gone to a restaurant? If you're anything like me, have you ever gone to a restaurant and you sit down and you look and it's like, oh my gosh, I don't even know. I don't know what to eat. Oh my gosh, I want that, oh my God. Literally, I do that to myself every stinking day, every pretty much mealtime of every day. And then because I wrestled and because I fought and you have to make weight all the time, food becomes a luxury that's taken away from you, right? Or that you can't have forever. So here's the deal. I do it now too, but when you're fighting, when you're fighting or when you're wrestling even, because wrestling you got to make weight all the time, it's like, okay, well, it's Sunday, right? Mind you, like it's Sunday or something like that. And you're like, okay, well, I'm going to make weight on Friday. What am I going to eat on Saturday? What am I going to eat on Saturday? Because then Sunday I'm going to have to start cutting weight again for the next Friday. So what am I going to eat on Saturday? So then it just becomes the thing that you have this one opportunity. You got to make it like the most perfect, great meal ever, or you're going to miss an opportunity because that food is no longer going to be at your fingertips and you're going to have to make weight again. And that's how this mentality was created in me. And this idea of creating these systems to take away that stress, to take away that like, this is the only perfect opportunity. And if I don't have the perfect meal at this restaurant right now, then my whole day is going to be ruined. I just want to get rid of all that stuff. I want to get rid of it because I hate it, because I can't stand it. So he and I have been on this mission of simplifying our lives such that we eliminate menial choices as much as possible. And in the book, Extreme Ownership, Jocko says that simplicity is, quote, one of the most important principles adhered to in battle. So if you're hearing me thinking I'm a weirdo, what's this guy talking about? At least listen to Jocko Willink and Leif Babin, who are military, they represent military excellence in their combat soldiers, and they operate with an incredibly high operating level. Listen to them. Simplicity is, quote, one of the most important principles adhered to in battle. Consider simplifying your life. Moving on. So this next bullet point comes from an episode that I released on Thursday. And what I released on Thursday was a keynote that I gave it's called the Dream Symposium. Now, the Dream Partnership is an organization that raises funds, raises awareness, helps create post-secondary programs for students with intellectual disabilities. And Dream was a symposium of various universities coming together. I was able to give the talk, right? So I gave a keynote at this event. And the theme of it was self-determination. Okay, that was the underlying theme of my talk. So self-determination, and that falls perfectly in line with the book I'm currently reading, Extreme Ownership, self-determination, making it happen for yourself. That's a belief that we're trying to instill in the various programs of Dream. That's a belief that I'm trying to instill in you, the listener. I will instill in my kids. I remind myself every day. You know, it occurs to me when I take all these notes, what I'm reading right now, this document, I essentially wrote it for me. I wrote it for me, you know, because this is the reminders that I need to operate at this level. So by default, if you want to operate at a high level, they're going to help you too. So I was talking to Jenny, and Jenny is she works at Penn State Harrisburg, and she helped me facilitate all of these programs and all of these opportunities. So I'm incredibly indebted to her. But I was talking to her before I talked, right? Before I gave my talk on self-determination, I was talking to her, and she said something that was so poignant, that was so perfectly suited to open up my talk with, that 10 minutes later, I opened my talk with this, quote, if there was one, this is her, this is what she said to me behind the scenes. If there was one person at Lock Haven who we would have said wouldn't become a UFC fighter, it would be you. Right? How about that? If there was one person, let's line everybody up at Lock Haven, and probably the wrestling team is what we're referring to, and say, who would not be a UFC fighter? That guy right there. That skinny guy with the dark curly hair? No way. Charlie, he would never be a UFC fighter. That was the truth. That is the reality. That is the truth. So, why am I pointing that out? The reason I want to point that out is because of this. It's true that you can learn to do, to be whatever you want to be. You can learn it. There's no guarantee. There's no you will be anything you want to be. No, because I ain't going to make the NBA no matter what. I'm too old. I'm not tall enough. I'm not big enough. Probably not going to make the WWE, but I may try because I can put on some weight, or I could be a manager or something like that. Oh, porque puedo hablar español. Puedo ser el español in the WWE. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. So there's no guarantee it's going to happen. But target. So this book, 12 Rules of Life, he talked a lot, well, not this book, the last book I read, he talked a lot about aiming and a lot about target, right? Your aim, like where's your aim in life? So I'm saying this to you, just aim, go for it, launch it, rocket launch it up into the sky, right? Aim uber high, because you really can, because that squirrely, curly-haired, skinny kid from Lock Haven who was the last person, guess what? He did get there, and he even won some fights, and he kicked some good guys' butts, right? So know that you can do it, right? Self-determination is key. Last, but certainly not least, this is one of my most valuable takeaways. So I read Extreme Ownership the first time, I'm going to say a year and a half, 2 years ago, I don't know. And then I'm reading it again now. And of all the books that I've read since that time, rereading it again this time, one of the most valuable takeaways I got is this idea, this strategy. And again, this book is based on military combat and strategy and how that applies to life and business. One of the most important takeaways I took then and now is this idea, the strategy of prioritize and execute. Prioritize and execute. Look, you got a lot of stuff. I got a lot of stuff. I have 2 kids. I'm starting a business, etc., etc., etc. You have your thing. You're doing this, that, the other thing, etc., etc., etc. So, how does it apply across the board to all of us? Prioritize and execute. Quote, prioritize your problems, and I'm going to say even tasks. Prioritize your problems and take care of them one at a time, the highest priority first. Voila. With a V. Voila. Prioritize your problems and take care of them one at a time, the highest priority first. I remember when Dredd and I sat down. So I wrote my book. I wrote the manuscript, the initial one. The first one, I actually have a second manuscript written. We're just trying to figure out how to exactly position the book. But I remember sitting down with him, and I mean, so writing a manuscript on Word document or Google Docs or whatever is one thing, but then actually like proofreading it, making sure it's coherent, chronological, and then actually like formatting it so that you're able to use CreateSpace. I went via CreateSpace on Amazon, and then like get the fonts right, get the formatting right, get the design right, get the call out quotes right, make sure the fonts are appropriate, make sure that the ISBN number on the back, you have space for that. There's stuff that you just wouldn't even know existed, right? And I didn't know they existed, but Dredd did because he had published books before. So I go there and I said, what do you want to do? And he said, well, let's throw it up. Let's get it out of us. And then let's attack the toughest thing first. Toughest thing first, right? Toughest, most important, however you want to qualify it there. It's kind of like Eat the Frog. Remember that book I read a long time ago called Eat the Frog? It's getting rid of that worst thing first, or getting rid or taking care of that most important thing first, and then moving down the line. So if at any time you are overwhelmed, prioritize and execute, my friends. This has been what I learned this week. This is the 58th one of these documents I've created. Please hop on over to charliespaniard.com, opt into the email, and I'll be sending this to you next Friday, except it's going to be a brand new one with a brand new audio episode attached to it. And then, here's what I would suggest. I would say to you, if you're a business, if you're a coach, if you're a principal, or if you're the head of an organization or running a conference, and you want someone who is going to instill fire, energize, educate, inspire, challenge, develop your folks to operate at a high level, to teach you strategies, to give you references, to give you real world examples that were accrued in the cage, then go to charliespaniard.com/booking, fill out the form, and I'll get back to you ASAP. Be bold. It's so fun. Oh, it's so fun. Oh my goodness. I love it. You know what they say? If you enjoy what you're doing, you never got to work a day in your life. And I certainly enjoy what I'm doing. Oh boy. What I learned. 58. So, that's it, my friends. Thanks for tuning in. Like I said, here's how you can help. You can help by sharing this video. You can help by commenting below, to which I will respond at my earliest convenience. You can hop on iTunes and subscribe. There's ways you can help the show. Be bold, my friends. I will be back Monday morning, 6:30 a.m. here, facebook.com/CharlieSpaniard, for AM Excellence 471. So we got 30 more days, which is 6 more work weeks, until we're at 500. That'll be cool, right? It'll be Monday morning, too. Be bold, my friends. See you Monday.